Vicky, also known as DragonflySoars. Today is October 1st, and it's just before 6 o'clock. Now, it is Tuesday, and I purposely delayed recording this week. Well, first of all, I didn't record last week. I was visiting my mom and my son, and there was so much stuff going on, and the weather's been kind of weird, so recording outside was kind of funky. So it just never really worked out to record last week while I was there. And I actually had stuff to kind of tell you. I got my new iPhone. I got the 5S. I was actually, for the first time ever, and probably the only time ever, I was one of those people standing in line. I wasn't there like super early. They opened at 8, and I got there like almost 7:30, maybe 7:25, and it actually was organized really well. They had people, they had Apple employees kind of talking to people who were in the line, and at 8 o'clock they started handing out cards. They would ask you what carrier you wanted, what iPhone, what carrier, what size, 16, 32, 64, and what color. So, and they just went through the line, and if they had what you wanted, they gave you a little card, and that was sort of your guarantee that there was one for you inside. I was near the back of the line at first, and the guy right next to me wanted the exact same phone I did, except for he wanted gold. And they were like, if you want gold, don't bother standing in line. Just go order it online. You won't get it right away, but that's the only way you're going to get gold, because none of the stores had very many. And I said, well, what if I don't care at all what color I get, just as long as I get one? And they're like, oh, you'll be fine. So by the time they handed out the cards, we were fine. In fact, the guy next to me and I, because we wanted the exact same thing, we were joking, and I said that if he got the last one, I was going to take him down because I was behind him. And he said, how about we just rock, paper, scissors if it comes down to that? He's like, guaranteed. If it comes down to that, we'll rock, paper, scissors. Winner gets the phone. So, but it didn't come to that. Actually, it was really nice because we ended up walking the whole time, and it was raining, so I held his place in line while he went and got an umbrella, and then he let me and the lady on the other side of him use his umbrella. So, big adventure. But I got my phone, and it was important that I got the phone because I wanted the phone anyway, and I was going to get the phone because I had the money for it set aside. That was all good. But then my old phone started to die. All of a sudden the buttons were getting stuck. The power button wouldn't work and the home button wouldn't work. And if you have an Apple, you know that the home button, this button, is like your everything button. That's how you reset it. That's how you get back to start. That's everything. So suddenly I was like having to like really push it and wiggle it, and I was getting worried. So this phone is bigger. It has, because I went from a 4 to a 5S, for me there's like this big jump in the camera, the storage, the processor, even the fact that I can get 4G and LTE. So for me it's a big jump. For other people, I don't know if going to a 5 to a 5S would be worth it. And there is the fingerprint scanner, which seems to work. It works just fine. If I try and use a different finger, it doesn't work. If somebody else tries to use it that I've tried so far, it doesn't work. I was kind of joking today that I let my son have the finger because you get 5 slots. Well, 4 of them are me. They're these 2 fingers and my thumbs. And I gave him 1 slot so that he can use my phone, because he likes to use it when I'm visiting to play music and stuff. Because I have more of our music on my phone than he does. So, and I'm excited because now that I have the new phone, and I'm sorry, I will talk about knitting. I actually have a ton of stuff to talk to you guys about, but I'm going to China, and actually this phone with the better camera and more storage means that I will be able to, I'll be able to kind of prep kind of what I want to bring with me for videos and stuff like that for my downtime, and I will be able to take better pictures and things than I would have on the old phone. So that's all good. All right, now then last week I spent all week with them. I actually spent longer with them than I was planning on. I was planning on coming home Saturday, but I hadn't realized that last week was homecoming week. It just was a pure coincidence that I was there that week. So I got to help my son and his girlfriend prep, and we got him a shirt and a bow tie, and we got her shoes for her dress, and then we surprised her with a corsage. He had her totally convinced that he wasn't getting her one, and she was wearing a black dress. He had a bright green shirt and then black tie. My mom made her a green ribbon in her hair and helped her curl her hair. Her mom had to work all weekend, so she couldn't help do any of the prep. So his girlfriend did everything over at our house. And then we got her these wrist corsage with green tinted roses and him a matching boutonniere. And I'll actually post pictures here of the flowers. I'm not going to post pictures of the kids because I don't mind posting my son, but I don't have permission to post his girlfriend, so I'm not going to do that. But trust me, they looked so happy and so excited. Alright, so actual knitting content now. The reason I am recording today, I was going to record on Monday like normal, and then I thought, no, I really want to record on October 1st because today our drawing for the Click for Babies closes out because Katie of Knitting on the Fly needed the hats by now. So I can close out the Click for Babies. The Sapphire Birthstone Along closes out, and I can do the 300 member drawing. And really, what it was is it was the Sapphire prize drawing closing out, because if I recorded yesterday, it would still be open, and I wouldn't be able to draw until next week. Well, then it starts getting really tight for me to be able to mail prizes before I leave for China. So I decided to just wait and do everything today. So we actually are going to have several drawings. Let's start looking at the Sapphire. I will show you the couple things that I finished. I finally put heels in these socks. Now, these socks were just waiting for the afterthought heel. This was my first pair of twitchy socks. This was the pair of socks that this is the one that actually started the name Twitchy Socks, because this is the pair that I started when Best Friend asked me if I had knitting, because I was going to get twitchy in the movie if I didn't have any knitting with me. So they needed to be cut open and have the afterthought heels put in, and I hadn't done it. I finally did it. It didn't take very long. Like, one heel took one night and the other heel took another night, and that was only because I was kind of doing other stuff. I went to put it in Ravelry and mark it as finished. I started these in September of last year. I didn't believe it. I actually went back in the podcast blog and looked at my show notes and went, because I just didn't believe it had been that long. It was. Middle of September last year I started these. I finally finished them this September. But they're done. I did the heel where I do the decreases, top, bottom, and the two sides. So it kind of makes a more circular heel. I find it more comfortable, but I haven't worn these because I was waiting to show you. So I finished those. I also finished spinning my, this was the Knitting Color Roll-Logs. I started on the Turkish spindle, then decided, after doing 2 roll-logs on the Turkish spindle, decided I really didn't want to do that. So I finished the rest of the singles on my Highland Handmade spindle. And what I did is I did 3 roll-logs on the Highland Handmade spindle and then joined in one of the cakes from the Turkish spindle. And wound that all into the Highland Handmade spindle. And then I wound it off onto a tennis ball. I forgot to bring my own tennis ball, so I actually took one of the tennis balls from the dog and used the lint roller to get all the dog hair off, and then used it for my spinning. And then I did 3 more. Then I did 2 more roll logs, attached the other Turkish spindle cake, and then the last roll log, so it was kind of in the middle. Because I think my spinning was pretty consistent between the 2 spindles, but I figured why not blend them. And then that was all on the Highland Handmaids. Well, then I wrapped that around the tennis ball. So the tennis ball ended up being one big giant single. And then I was going to learn to chain ply on the spindle, but it was getting to the end of the month and I kind of said hell with it, and so I chain plied it using the wheel. So I used the Turkish spindle, the Highland Handmade spindle, and the wheel to finish this. But it ended up being 140 yards of a heavy worsted. It's pretty. I don't know if you can tell, but it's got sparkle in it throughout. Some areas are really sparkly. Some just a little. But I like how it came out. And it's a lot softer now that I washed it than it was before. So I'm going to pause and post pictures of both of these projects. And then we are going to draw for the Sapphire project bag and the whole prize, the project bag, the yarn, etc. Alright, so for the Sapphire September projects, we had 91 posts, and of course I'm number 1. So I'm doing 2 through 91, and a reminder, it is this project bag with, yarn that I keep saying I'm going to, it's Madeline Tosh yarn. It's gorgeous yarn, and it keeps coming untwisted. I promise before I mail it I will twist it back up. But it's gorgeous Madeline Tosh yarn, Madeline Tosh sock. And there's also a little tin and stitch markers, blue stitch markers for Sapphire. So, and the bulk of this project came from Nikki, who is Living for Fishing. And she was talking about possibly opening a project bag shop. I hope she does, because this is a really nice project bag. So, 2 through 91, generate 42, the meaning of life. Let's see who is 42. That will be on page 2. It is, I don't know how to pronounce her name. It's Lmecoll. And she made a Miss Winkle. She actually did it as part of the Knittables podcast. Her real name is Linda. So, Linda, you won this prize package. And you need to send me your full name and address. Because I'm under a little bit of a time constraint, and I need to get everything out, this will be one of the few times where I'm actually going to post and say, hey, so-and-so, you might want to watch this episode. Normally I don't do that until it's like late in the week, but this time I just want to make sure that we get everybody posted. So, this is September. The October prize, I don't have to show you. I believe it is still with my mom. I really hope it's still with my mom. It was donated by her. October is opal. Opals come in a huge myriad of colors. And not only that, but a single opal can be tons of colors. So when Tiff and Mom and I were talking last December about what we were going to do for the various colors of the month, opals became it was originally our variegated month, because we were thinking, okay, wild colors, lots of colors. And then we decided to make it the wild card month. It can be any color you want. So this is a great time to either knit with something crazy colors, or finish up an old unfinished object that you've got hanging around. Or if you're like me and some other people in the group, like Victoria Blue, who are going to participate in the 30-day sweater, my 30-day sweater is going to be blue. And that will count. So, October, any color you want, wild card. So, I expect that we will just have a ton of entries this month. So, and the prize for it, for being the wild one, is totally cute prize that came from my mom with wild colored sheep on a mug and a match and a little sheepy tape measure and knitting care tags. So I'm going to post a picture of that here. Right, now there will be more drawings coming, but we're going to go into some other stuff. I have been waiting and waiting to show you this yarn. This is from Knitter's Nightmare. It is from Sadie of the Yarnivore podcast. Knitter's Nightmare is her yarn and fiber shop that she opened recently, a few months ago. I want to say maybe in like May. But anyway, I bought this and then I couldn't find it anywhere. I didn't know what I did with it. I finally found it. I put it in the closet one time when I was cleaning. Anyway, so it is a fat bottom stripe, which means it has the big stripes. It is a screwed up skein, which means somewhere there's flecking or something that Sadie decided wasn't quite right, that she didn't want to charge full price. And the colorway is Q, and it is a bright purple, bright purple, dark purple. I think those will blend it into the same stripe, and then reds. And with it, she also sent a zipper pull and a pin. So I've been wanting to show it to you, and I got it a while ago, and then I just couldn't find it. So I'm so glad I found it. It's also probably going to become my purse knitting at some point. But my current purse knitting, which is becoming too big for my purse, is my single goal shawl, which let me pull out here. I'm really loving how this is coming out. And sorry, I stopped in the middle of a row. I was trying to get some stuff done, but you can see where at the beginning triangle was, and then where the stripes went one way, and now the stripes are going the other direction. The rows are getting incredibly long, so one back and forth is taking me about 10 minutes. So to complete a section of 10 takes, an hour and a half. I don't always have that kind of time to sit, and I haven't had any really good conference calls to sit and knit either. So, but I am really loving that shawl. I'm going to post a picture here of the texture. I took a picture of the right where the stripes join, and I just really like it, so I'm going to post that here. I'll also post a picture of Sadie's yarn and turn on a light. I think the lighting was okay for you guys, but for me it was feeling a little dark. The next thing I want to show you is from Slip Stitch Studios. She has a bag of the month where you she'll have a design, like in this case Nintendo, and you can go to her site and pre-order a set. And so she had a Nintendo set, and so I pre-ordered it, and I got the Zelda bag. If you have not seen this, look away. But I think you kind of know what you're getting, but at the same time it's kind of cool. So this is what she calls a choose skein project bag. Not all your small projects can fit into a one skein sock bag. Maybe you need to Maybe you need a few more skeins of yarn or just extra room for your straight needles, drop spindle, or crochet hooks. The 2-skein project bag will accommodate the necessities of a more complex but still compact project. So, and it's got little Zeldas on it. And then inside it's got, you know, keys and stuff, like for opening up the treasure chest. And it's got pockets on the inside, which also have the Zelda fabric. So, there's that bag, drawstring. And then it's got the handle. So, there's that one. And then I've had one of these before that I had bought, but this one has Zelda on it, and then it's got a pair of folding up scissors. You attach it to your key ring. They're travel scissors. They also came with a Notions pouch, which has the old traditional Nintendo's controller on it, and just a red lining on the inside. And then it also came with Nintendo Power Mints that looks like the old controller. I'm probably going to give this to my son because he'll just think that's cool. And if he would think it was cool even if I gave it to him empty, but I might as well give it to him with the mints inside. So this came this week. And it was kind of funny because I had actually almost forgotten I had ordered it. And then also I was like, oh, I remember that. Alright, I am going to pause, show you pictures of that, and I'm going to prepare for doing the drawing for Click for Babies. Alright, we have 139 entries in the Click for Babies, and that is amazing, especially considering that I know Crow Julie actually did 4 hats for 1 entry. That was her choice. She did the same thing for, she's doing the same thing for Katie, for the Knitting on the Fly. She asked that every 4 be counted as 1. So, 139 entries. Number 1, of course, doesn't count because that was the one where I told you stuff. So we have 2 through 139. The first one I'm going to draw is for the Wollmeise. And that is number 15. So that'll be on page 1. It's easy when they're like easy numbers. Oop. Number 15 is me, so I'm going to draw again. Alright, second try. 56. Which will be on page 3. '56 is Spinnin' Lady. So, and she did a bunch of hats. She did at least 14 as of this page. So, Spinnin' Lady, you won the Wollmeise. I'll need your full name and address. I'm taking pictures of the page so that I can remember who won what. Alright, next will be a skein of my hand spun. This was a Knitting Color Bat. All the details are on my Ravelry page. I promise to put a tag on it before I send it. And it is for number 8. Which again is an easy one because it's page 1. And that is Crow Julie. Oh wait. No, it wasn't. I'm sorry. Number 8 was deleted. buy Crow Julie, but there's nothing there. I'm sorry, that doesn't count. Oh, the next one is number 6. I think that's still Crow Julie. I kind of hope so. Yes, number 6, still Crow Julie. You still won this. I was feeling really bad there. Alright, and the last prize is a free pattern from Ann-Lena, who does the gorgeous patterns, the Mistral shawl, the tulip shawl. There's a beautiful sock pattern. She has just some absolutely gorgeous patterns. She had given us a coupon in the month of August. So that will be the last prize. And that will be number 32. I'm surprised they're all at the front of the... Okay, that's also Crow Julie, but I'm going to make a rule right now that somebody can't win twice. Knowing her, I think she would agree with me, so I'm not too worried. Alright. 70. Is Knitter 2, T-O-O, Knitter 2. Knitter 2, you won the prize, so I will get you and Ann-Lena in contact with each other. So that is our 3 prizes for the Click for Babies. So 1, 2, and the pattern. I gotta talk to Katie. Just as an aside to anybody, I'm not sure when Katie is going to draw for prizes for her podcast. Depending on when she draws and when I get the addresses, I may or may not be able to ship before I go to China. So I'm hoping it will work out. Alright, so that is all the prizes for Click for Babies. I am going to talk about the 30-day sweater next, and then we will draw for one more prize. Alright, so the next thing we're going to talk about is the 30-day sweater challenge, which started today, October 1st. Please feel free to join. You can, it can be totally free. You can knit any sweater of your choice for the next 30 days, and you count as participating in the challenge. I just ask that you go to 30daysweater.com/dragonfly in order to download the planning guide, and that link is in our Ravelry group under in the thread for the 30-day sweater day challenge. So 30-day sweater challenge. So you can knit any sweater you want in 30 days. If you knit the planning guide, then they know that you're kind of affiliated with our group. Now, and the planning guide is free, and it comes with a ton of information about just like picking your construction, picking your yarn, being careful about your measurements, different places to measure on the body. So the planning guide by itself is a really valuable tool. You can also pay for a workbook, which I actually have a copy of the workbook, and it lays out each day what you should do. It has calculations in it. It's $25, but you get a discount if you use the code word Dragonfly. It's a 25% off, I believe, so I think it's $18. I am using that workbook to do my sweater because I wanted it to kind of be that means I can put in my measurements, my customization. It's a top-down raglan sweater. If you use that construction, then you also can be entered into the sweater design challenge at the very end, where any of the finished sweaters that used the workbook construction are entered into that design challenge. There's also a course which lets you see tutorials online and do some other stuff on the site. I paid for that myself. I did use the discount, again, Dragonfly. So I now can access the forums and things like that. Every day, or every weekday, there is a live event, and then the live event can also be seen later. But during the live event, you can, Lacey and Johnny are talking to you, and today they were talking about having a notebook for your sweater design and having like a 3-ring binder where you have all your information and you put your big gauge swatch and everything. They talked about how to do the measurements, and they actually demonstrated each of the measurements on Johnny's brother, Bobbert. Inside joke, you'll have to watch the event. And then there's also a live chat at that time, and they answer any questions that are in the live chat. So that's actually been kind of fun. Yesterday, I missed the first half, and I didn't realize that they were posting it, that you could keep watching it, you could rewatch it even though it wasn't live anymore. Today, I missed the first half, but I went back and actually watched from the beginning, and it was good. And I think tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern, there's going to be a live event as well. So if you have actually like signed up for the planning guide, then you're on their email address and they tell you some of these things. And if you get the planning guide, you'll know about the live events. And tomorrow there's a guest. I don't remember who it is. There's a guest. And there is, if you sign up for the course, you also get daily emails telling you what you should be doing each day. And I actually looked and then planned out like the next 7 days. And like today was all about measuring yourself and your gauge swatch. Now, I will admit I cheated the other day because I wanted to make sure that I had everything was good. This is my yarn. I have 3 skeins just like this, all caked up. It is Miss Babs' Yowza What a Skein. Miss Babs, the Yowza What a Skein means it's an 8-ounce skein. So I have 3 of them, and they're 560 yards each, which means I have about 1,600 yards to make a sweater, which should be plenty, even for me. So this is a worsted weight, and really, and this is the colorway's Cloak. It is a very dark teal with a lot of variegation in it. This is my gauge swatch, and I made sure I did my gauge swatch because this was important. It was important to the whole rest of the process. Because if you are knitting another sweater, you are going to try to get gauge to match that pattern. If you are using the workbook, you are knitting a swatch, deciding that this is a fabric you like, that it's not too tight, it's not too loose, it's comfortable, it's a little drapey, but not like falling apart. I can't see through it. It's not body armor. This is a fabric I like. So now that I have a fabric I like, and I've washed it and everything and blocked it, I know I can measure my gauge, and then I use my gauge for this fabric to do the rest of the sweater and design the sweater based on this gauge. So if you're using the workbook, having the gauge swatch is integral. There's no way to do it without making the gauge swatch, because you can't guess at what your gauge is going to be and then do the rest of the calculations. So, but I really like it. It's soft. So I knit it using my new, I don't know if I told you guys, I bought Knit Pro I have them here somewhere. I bought the set of Knit Pro acrylics mostly because I am hoping that they do not take them away from me on the plane because they are acrylic and they don't look very stabby. Whether or not I have the sweater on the plane is a whole different story. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to take to China. What I'm going to take, you know, what I'm going to carry on, what I'm going to have as like active knitting, what's going to be in my bag. Anyway, and if anybody knows anything about China, please contact me because I'm kind of freaking out a little bit. But anyway, so 30-day sweater. You can knit any sweater you like. You can knit you can buy the workbook and build a custom top-down raglan sweater for you. It has options in there for neckline, sleeve length, all sorts of things. But it still comes down to it's a basic top-down raglan sweater, but I think it will be pretty and it will fit. Best friend helped me take measurements, which was nice of him. And the 30-day sweater challenge now also has a group on Ravelry. So, like I said, if you can knit any sweater. You don't have to participate this way, but please download the planning guide at least. I think that is it for that. Alright, the next thing, and the last thing, we reached 300 members. So we have 305 members now. I earlier downloaded the member list, and it is numbered 1 to 305. It is straight from Ravelry from the member list download. It is based on when you join the group, so that is where the list comes from. And now we are going to do 2 through 305. Oh, I almost sneezed. 2 through 305, again, because I'm number 1, because I started the group. And let's see who that is. And this is a cool price. I'll show you in a minute. $169. I made sure I kept it open. $169 is Flibberty Gibbet, who constantly participates on the group, so I'm really glad to see that. Flibberty Gibbet, that is Gayla, and she wins this prize. Now, I put one of these together for me, and I'm loving it. So, it's a little pouch, and then in mine, of course, these are all open. Steeking scissors. These are my favorite scissors. They're super sharp. They're probably not TSA safe. Fix-It crochet hook on a keychain. I never use mine on a keychain, but it's there. Clover, you know, what do you call these? I can't think what you call them. But the little clover with 3 darning needles inside. There's a funny name that people call them, but I can't think what it is. Knit Picks needle sizer that also has the ruler. And a tape measure. And then I will probably put stitch markers in here too, if I can find what in the world I did with them. I had some set aside for this. So, Flibberty Gibbet, you won this. Alright, so we have Linda won this. Flibberty Gibbet won this. We have winners for the Anlena prize. These two. And no, I already forgot. That's why I took pictures before. All the prizes. So I need everybody to send me their name, address, so I can get everything mailed out. Hopefully by next weekend, so then I know everything is good before I leave. And I think that is it. This actually didn't go too long. I'm glad. There was a lot of stuff to kind of tell you, and I know I babbled at the beginning a lot more about the Apple stuff than I was planning on it, but I think that's okay. So I will talk to you all soon. I'm going to put this together, go eat my dinner, and oh, no, I have one more thing to tell you because I thought this was so awesome. I told you guys that I got a Fit Desk, which is a stationary bike that also has a desk on it, so you can have your laptop and you can be working. And they're designed to be in offices or schools, so that even while you're doing your regular work, you're still moving. Or you can also just use it as an exercise bike. I've been kind of doing a combination. On it, there is what they call a meter that has the information about your speed, how long you've been riding, the distance you've gone, etc. And it's supposed to reset itself if you haven't been on it for 5 minutes, or when you hit the reset button. Well, mine's not resetting. It didn't reset by itself ever, but at least when I pushed the button, it would reset. But now it's not doing that anymore. And it's not a huge problem. I can pop out the battery and that will reset it. But there's an odometer on there, which is kind of your lifetime miles. And every time I pop out the battery, the odometer resets. Which, maybe it's not all that important, but it's just one of those little things. So, just so I could see if I could get it fixed, I emailed the company. It was like 6 o'clock at night yesterday. Within 15 minutes of emailing the company, the head guy had emailed me back and given me some ideas to try for resetting it. And then I emailed him back and said, I tried them, they didn't work. And within an hour, because I'm sure he was eating dinner or something, within an hour, he had emailed me and said, send me your address, I'm going to send you a new meter. Nothing about how I would have to send the other one back, nothing, no questions, no nothing, just give me your address, I'm sending you another meter. That is awesome. That is just like best customer service. So I had to share that because it seems like there's always negative feedback about things. This was a really good experience. So, all right. Now I'm done, and for the record, I like my Fit Desk. It is really quiet. I'm not disturbing anyone. I can watch my TV or whatever. I keep it in the living room. It doesn't take up a huge amount of space, and I have lost almost 15 pounds watching diet and exercise and just moving more. So it's working. I will talk to you guys all later. Bye now.